forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
Hi, Syria. Hi, Mario. And hello, everybody else. Yeah, so what do we have today? So let's start with these questions on people's EB1A journeys and what people have been writing to us, telling us. So let's move. So, Mario, would you like to start?
Yeah, absolutely. So our featured question today, they ask, after meeting 3 criteria, what happens in the final marriage determination? Why are so many petitions denied at this stage?
Absolutely. No, let's understand that, first of all, I think we have said this hundreds of times, and I think this is very important for us to understand. Number one, you don't get EB1A because you are fulfilling the criteria. Okay, now what are these criteria for, and what is the purpose of the final merit determination? Is there something like this? You essentially need to prove that you are an expert. Number two, you need to prove that your expertise will be beneficial to the US. And number three, you have to prove that you will continue in your field of endeavor. Okay, and you use the criteria to prove this. Okay, fulfillment of criteria essentially means that, okay, you have met the criteria. In a sense, you have achieved what is supposed to achieve. But the real test begins when you are tested under there is a case law called Kazarian. It's based on that you have to meet those 3 objectives, what I just said. And that is the final merit determination. If you don't meet that, you don't get your EB1A. In fact, when you don't meet your criteria, you get something called as RFE, which is called request of evidence. And if you are not meeting the final merit determination, you get NOID, which is notice of intent of denial. That is how it implies actually. So one needs to be focused towards, kind of presenting the initiatives in the criteria which have a sense of purpose, sense of goal, and sense of some strong objective, which basically defines those 3 things. I again repeat, it should be your expertise, that you are an expert and your expertise is beneficial to the US, number 2, and number 3, that you will continue in the field of expertise. Now, just to give you an illustration, suppose let's say you got an award. Now that award should demonstrate your expertise, that you got it because of what. Okay. Number 2 is that, okay, fine, how that you getting that award is beneficial to the US. It cannot be a self-gratification purpose. And number 3, that what does it show about you? Maybe you are continuing a research. Maybe you are doing some work that is beneficial to US as a whole. That is important. Okay. Now that's the way it would be actually. So you need to, final merit determination is very important, and which many people are focused. So when people reach out to us during the calls or who want to join the Next League program, they feel that, oh, I'm fulfilling the salary criteria. I'm fulfilling the critical role criteria. So that does not really help. In fact, we have seen people who are kind of drawing even $1 million salaries, their salary criteria are getting rejected. Okay, now that's very important. Why they're getting rejected? Not because their salary is less, because they are not fulfilling the need and the requirement of the final merit determination. That's how it would be. And that's a missing link that they need to do it, connect it to the expertise, say that what and why they have been getting it, connect to the criteria of critical role of something or any income that they are getting for a specific objective. So those elements are very, very important. Let's understand that. Okay. So let's kind of, I would not elaborate further because there are other questions, but this is one of the most important aspect in your EB1A. And there is also, maybe we'll take it some other time, difference between final merit determination, sustained acclaim, and totality. These 3 are also different elements that we will talk about it some other time. Okay, and let's move to the next question.
Of course. So the next question is, what is the EB1A approval success rate during Trump's administration?
The data is available. It is, I think, around 50 to 60%. Definitely. My take is that The assessment has become, it is not about being tough or non-tough, it is just gotten granular and real. As simple as that. Something that should be, there is nothing wrong or something invalidation about it. If you have been doing the right job, I don't think you need to worry about it. I mean, no, every administration, every object, every government would always look for talented individuals. In fact, every country looks for the talented. Every country, most of the developed countries in the world have talent visas actually. Be it Australia, be it UK, be it Europe, Germany, France, they have in different names. Some call it, extraordinary something. Somebody calls it blue card. So that's the how it is actually. So I don't think we need to kind of worry about that what is happening in the Trump administration or the previous administration. I think it's to the best of my understanding, we still got a lot of approvals. People are coming in. Of course, there could be some questions which are being raised, which are more granular. And I will tell you some of them. For example, if you are getting you are getting a recommendation letter for any purpose. Now, that recommendation letter, there are certain basic factors which already USCIS has been asking, that you should give a reference of the person, the details of the person. Okay, you cannot just create you can't just have a unverified LinkedIn profile of that person. The CV of that person should be there. The contact details of the person should be there. If that person is available on a web link, that web link should be given. Those are some basic factors which are in any case required. So basically, I would just say that your every line in your petition, every line in your document should essentially, should be audited. Let's put it that way. Every line that you are writing, if you look at it, I think one of the biggest challenges that we are facing, another aspect, and we are mixing too many things here, is that people are using AI extensively. And that human element has gone. People are simply not reading their own petitions, their own letters. It's because it is easy. And that becomes a shortcut. And then coupled with the administration, which is, kind of being more granular in its approach. I won't say strict or non-strict. It is just becoming more granular in its approach. Then to say that, there is a challenge, because of this. No. You do your job well and you will succeed. Because we have seen successes happening. Okay, we see more failures than successes. That's the only problem, because people are not being very specific in their approach. That's number one. And number two, always understand that people who succeed, maybe they're keeping quiet. But the percentage speak for itself. If it is 50 to 60%, that's a decent number, I would say that. That's definitely a decent number. So let's move to the next question.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next question they ask, is there any expiration date for recommendation letters?
Very good question. You see, as such, administrative law, when you talk about any which USCIS would be adhering to, there is no, short-term statute of limitation, which is, I think, normally 5 to 7 years, I think so. That's the one part of the story. But having said this, I think what are we trying to prove here in an expert opinion letter? You got a letter 6 months back, 1 year back, that's absolutely fine. But if you got a letter addressed to USCIS, which is 3 years back, anyway, that would be redundant, because the contents of that will pertain to only that time. That will not make any sense anyway. I think the real question is that, I think that's not the question. The question is that, okay, let's say, for example, you are talking about your 5-year-old history. Okay, and you got, let us say, an appreciation letter. You got some award that time. You got some letter of, not to the USCIS, but to yourself, some email, some Can you produce those evidences? Answer is absolutely yes. You don't have to bother about it. If you are able to put those evidences in order, this would definitely help you actually. So don't worry about this statute of limitations for your EB1A case. Just do your job. And if you have some letter which is old, that should not bother. As long as it is, if you're talking about present, then definitely you need to have a letter, cannot be futuristic, and no letter can be futuristic. So it will have to be belonging to that time. So in 2025, or you are going to planning to apply next year, and you got a letter, let us say in this September, you don't bother about it. Because it will be pertaining, but obviously it cannot say anything that happened after September. So it all depends on what is the timeline that you are trying to cover in that particular letter. If you're talking about your job or some appreciation that you got from your company into 2020, which is absolutely good. So it will pertain to 2020. And if you give that letter in your EB1A application, it's a petition as an evidence, that should not be a problem. Okay, so let's move to the next question.
Absolutely. So another aspirant asked, we have spent a lot of money on a lawyer for EB1A. We received an RFE, made a strong response, and we're still denied. We applied with 8 out of the 10 criteria and worked on this for over the past year. What would you recommend to do next in this situation?
But congratulations on embarking on a journey. However, and unfortunately, it has been denied. You see, that is, denial does not mean that you are not EB1A. Sometimes, we work so hard in our lives, we do a lot of things, and suddenly, there is a setback because of this, but this has no bearing on your competency. Let's understand that first. Because EB1A is something that burden of persuasion is upon you, so you have to present it. Sometimes things don't go presented well as per the expectation. Now, you are saying that you got RFE, it means less than 3 criteria got approved initially. It could be 0, 1, 2, 3. So we don't know what it is actually. Second, we don't know really how your case was presented. And if you want an assessment from us, you reach out to us. We'll try to give you some understanding on that and reach out to us. Then only we can do it. I think it is a very, very generic question otherwise. We don't even know your experience. We don't even know your expertise. We don't even know what were the criteria approved, when it was done, what was the reason. We don't have any documentation to make any qualitative advice. Our experts will look at it and we will kind of give you some kind of an input. Okay? So wish you all the best. So let's move to the next.
Yeah, certainly. So the next question they ask, how do you typically identify the strongest extraordinary ability angle at the next league from within someone's professional background, especially when multiple options exist?
I like this question actually. Okay, now I will go a little deeper into this. Let's say, for example, somebody has been working. We do look at the years of experience and the person, how much one is drawing, and we can draw a fair inference out of it. Okay, now let's say, for example, somebody has a 10 years of experience and is qualified, is getting, let's say, a salary of 150K, 200K. So basically 200K somebody has been getting for 10 years. So it means that not 10 years, has been getting today, has a 10 years experience. Basically, one can concur that if you look at a present value of his past salaries. So for example, somebody worked for 10 years, his first year salary, if he's been in other country, you get a purchasing power parity and bring it down to today's value in USA. You will fairly see that his kind of an average salary for the last 10 years on a present value will be around 125K to 150K. Okay, it would be. It means that in 10 years, he has earned over 1.5 million on today's present value. Now comes a question is, for 10, you see, anybody who pays you X amount expects a 20X of return from you. So it means that if he has earned in total 1.5 million, it means that his total value that he has created by virtue of his expertise is around $30 million. Now, it means that in your entire year, in your entire career, you have created a value. Now, can we list down those elements? The moment you list down, it's very tough. Now, for example, somebody made an app and that was sold at $100 million valuation. And the company made an X amount. So that person was working with one of the leading banks in the world, actually, US banks. So that became his original contribution. Now we have to see in every person's career what he or she has done. Let's also understand that things like original contribution, salary don't happen in a day. Okay, now that original contribution has happened because of certain kind of work that person has done. Okay, so that's how I would like to say that. So one has to see what are the key elements in that person's career that can be utilized for the purpose of his EB1A career. And that's how we would like to do that. Okay, and let's take the last question now before we kind of push off.
Yeah, the next question is, hello Ranjeet. I have been working on my profile for several months now, and I'm not sure how to proceed. How do you determine when a profile is ready to file, and what key indicators show that it's strong enough to proceed with confidence?
Okay, I mean, I will give you my objective analysis and a very kind of and how do we process in the next league program. We always kind of get it done, an assessment done professionally through either a paralegal or a lawyer. That's what we'd like to do actually. That how much that person is ready for the assessment. I mean for the application actually. That's the first fundamental thing. I mean, I think I will go back to the first question that we were trying to answer. When we think that you are not just fulfilling the criteria, or let's put it that way, looking at your success stories from the lens of the criteria, go beyond those mere lens actually. So for example, if you say that you got a membership, as a membership, it does not matter then what did you do as a membership, what activities did you do, what contributions did you make. If you are able to kind of place that, that would be really kind of helpful actually. So once you do that, that's the thing, something that we are looking forward to. So slowly, similarly, your salary, how long have you been, has it been a sudden spike, or did you do something? So we would kind of gather those metrics of your success for each criteria, rather than just saying, oh, you fulfill the criteria. Fulfilling the criteria, I mean, just to give you an analogy, is like just going to a sea and just kind of touching the water. Then you have meeting fairly that you swim in the sea, and the last is really a final merit determination is like you doing a scuba diving actually into the sea, not just snorkeling actually. So you go deeper into the criteria, not just touching your feet. So once you are able to feel that your every, to put it more, in an exciting way, I mean, every cell in your body connects to that particular your expertise and the criteria, and the success that you have achieved in those criteria is something that then you are ready for your EB1A at that particular point of time. When you can talk about it, when you say, okay, fine, you are a BCS member. Okay, what did you do as a BCS member? Becoming a member is not going to something. Remember those three elements actually. Can you list down your whatever initiatives that you have? 50 initiatives, 60 initiatives. And then try to categorize, okay, does it show your expertise? Each and every element, does it show your expertise? Does it show how kind of, let's say, for example, how US will be benefiting? And how does it show, kind of your own excitement to pursue that activity and the field further? You write an article. You have written 10, not one article. You have written 10 articles. Every month we see a pattern of articles. Oh, that is good. So when you are able to, then based on that, we create a narrative out of it. And that narrative will help you to get EB1A. And that's how I would like to say. So that's all we have, friends. If you want to have your questions listed, please reach out to Syria or Mario, or please reach out to me. If you want to join the program, we are happy to help you in your EB1A journey. Wish you all the best. Okay, thank you and have a wonderful day, guys. And that's all we have for today. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any further questions or need personalized guidance, please reach out to us. We are here to help you every step of the way in your journey towards achieving your American dream. Let's connect and make it happen together.